Hello.
Hi.
How you
Can you hear
doing?
me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you
Good.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear.
Fantastic. So let's just get right into it. I was looking at your said that you were 2700 MMR. You play sounds like pretty much every role but mid, but you'd like to focus on carry. And you want to look at removing some bad habits. Did you have anything else you'd like to tell me before we just dive into one of your replays?
Well, I don't really play that much, but I do want to improve. Um like I mentioned, I've played Dota for I don't know more than 13 years already.
Hmm.
Um but right now I've been playing with friends, and yeah, I just want to be able to, you know, play properly, enjoy the game while still doing it right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, you know.
What changed really? Like what brings you here transitioning from like playing just with friends? Like what was the feeling you had or like what was were you like considering not playing Dota anymore? Were you like do you want to feel like you want to better use of your time playing Dota? Like what's going on?
Well, Dota is the only game that I play right now. I tried playing other games, and yeah, I'm stuck with Dota, I think, until, I find something new to play. But
Mm,
yeah,
okay.
so I want to stick with Dota.
Gotcha. Okay. Um so yeah, I'll just get to I shared my screen with you on Discord. Um
Mm.
What you said it varies based on work, and you said you don't play all that much. Like how many games a week would you say, that you play ranging? Like what's the least you'll play and what's the most you'll play?
I play like 2 games a week,
Okay.
the least, and the most maybe more than 20 games a week. So it really depends on how much work I have.
I see. Is your work like a stand like I'm not trying like I don't know how to ask this question, but is it like a standard 9 to 5 or is there like some weeks where you have like
No.
60 hours of work and some weeks you have 10?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, gotcha. Yeah, that's a little bit tough because I always think I always recommend the best way to meaningfully climb within Dota or like outside of life as well is some degree of consistency. So I guess my
Mhm.
first question would be: is there anything you could do, not work related, but like is it at all possible to move that number to like 5 to 15 rather than 2 to 20 or something like this? Like, is that at all possible or is that just completely out of the cards with like the logistics of your life, basically?
No, I can definitely play like 1 or 2 games a day if
Hmm.
I wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
it's something that I can do.
I'm wondering if how that sounds to you. Because if I recommend as a coach that I think your best route to improving would be to give as much consistency to the amount of effort you're putting into it. That's what I think. And I'm asking, does it sound like a chore to you, or does that sound like something you would be fine to kind of like try out, basically?
No, I'm fine doing that.
Okay, cool. One of the most powerful lessons I had with somebody way back when was she went from 6K to 7.5, and all I gave her was a schedule. Like
I see.
I didn't teach her anything new about Dota. Or I did, but like 90% of what she learned was just her approach to the game and being more intentional about it. So I just got that vibe from you. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But it sounded like you
Mhm.
have this X amount of time that you play Dota. You want it to be more efficient slash meaningful. What you're getting out of the time. Um, so I would just encourage you after this session to, I don't know if you use a calendar or anything like that, but whatever your most organized form can be, to just decide what time of day you think is best for you to play with as much consistency as you can. Like, if you can't do it, you can't do it, but have as much consistency as you can. And then we can kind of help you build a rhythm for making the most out of that 1 or 2 games that you play every day. Does that sound good
Okay.
to you?
Yeah,
Okay. Out of curiosity, just so I
that's
get a good idea, do you plan to come back for another session potentially, or is this for sure a one-off? Just so I have a better idea.
Oh, no, no. If I plan to do this at least once a month.
Okay, so like somewhat consistency to our sessions, if it works, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not making you
Mhm.
sign a contract right now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to get an idea of what I'm supposed to send you off with. Okay. So I'm loading into this game. Um, do you ever do any sort of like CS trainer to start the day or anything like that, or do you generally feel
No,
like you walk into the first wave of CS and you miss like two that you shouldn't miss? Does that ever happen?
yeah, yes, yes. It does happen more than often, especially the first two games.
Okay.
Like I miss lots of CS. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, if you're playing 1 or 2 games a day, I think the most powerful thing you can do is to listen to everything I'm about to say as long as it doesn't sound shitty. Like, if you're like, man, that's going to suck if I have to do that, then just tell me,
Mhm.
okay? So the
Yeah.
first thing is that I think the best thing to do is to tailor your hero pool size to about how much you play. So, like, if I'm playing 10 games a week, because that's like 1 or 2 per day, I would say max 4 to 5 heroes that you're playing. Um,
Okay.
does that sound like something you'd be down to like limit yourself to?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I think I'd like to think that I'm a meta player.
Okay.
Um, so right now, what I'm spamming are Jug, Ursa, uh, pretty much both of those heroes. But when it comes, I'm finding it hard to pick carry heroes that range because I'm
Hmm.
only playing Medusa and Luna
Yeah.
for range carry when needed.
What about Terrorblade? Do you play Terrorblade?
I think I'm too old and too slow for microwing multiple illusions.
Okay, so that doesn't really you don't like the micro aspect. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just looking at heroes. I personally like quite frankly, if you're 2700 MMR and you're like really good at the hero, it should be enough. But I do feel like Medusa and Luna feel pretty weak in my experience. Are you and like are
Mhm.
they owning for you or how's that going for you?
I have a good win rate for Luna and Medusa.
Okay.
For Luna, I don't take the DPS route. I usually
Take the moon
take
shield thing.
the yeah, moon shield and do the magic, especially if I have a DPS mid hero.
Like sniper or something.
Yeah, or Huskar,
Ah, yeah.
those type
Okay.
of heroes.
Yeah. Gotcha. So do you go like Manta Ags or what's your build?
Yeah, Mantags.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so if those are the two hero, I thought I heard you say you were struggling to pick ranged heroes, but it sounds like you've got
Yeah,
Jug Ursa and you've got Luna Medusa. Is that like a good four for you, or is there something you feel like missing from there, or something you'd like to add?
I tried picking Troll Warlord,
Yeah.
but I can't seem to win with that hero.
Hmm.
Uh, I, I can't farm properly. And compared to Medusa, Luna, Jug, and Ursa, I can't seem to farm fast enough with Troll Warlord.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean that's up to you in the sense that like next month if you wanted to come back to me after playing 10 games of Troll throughout the month and you send me like your 10th game of Troll and say like, hey BSJ, what am I doing wrong? Um,
Mhm.
we can do that. The question is what's going to be the most enjoyable for you? Do you think right now you need to grind like fundamentals that apply to every hero, or would you prefer to like have a new hero added to your arsenal that you're not really good with? Like what would you generally speaking like the next month or so to be focused on?
I think the fundamentals that I can apply to all the heroes
Okay.
would be what I prefer.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the most important thing for all coaching students is that they don't try to do too much because if you're trying to work on fundamentals and you're trying to learn a new hero, then quite frankly, I
Mhm,
think you're just going to fail at all of it. So, like that's how it's been for me and that's how I usually see it with my students. So,
mhm.
I think the first thing I've had to tell a lot of people is let's just be really intentional about what you're working on, right? So I want you to
Mhm.
be choosing what you're working on, and I can help you guide. So if you're saying you want to work on the fundamentals, let's just stick to those four heroes and let's grind out stuff that makes you smooth and efficient and consistent and fundamentally sound, and then we can reevaluate when we come back next month. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so like for me, if I'm doing something equivalent, I literally just make my hero grid with these four heroes like massive, and everything else is just up here. Like I'll just have like
Mhm.
Jug, Ursa, Luna, Medusa, and I'm picking one of those four. You know what I mean? You could even like
Mhm.
make a new one, and I'm just saying I think customizing your hero grid so that you don't get baited into picking other shit is like really, um, I think it's important. I think it just makes it easier. It's kind of
Okay.
like having Reddit on like your seventh tab of your phone rather than saved on your homepage. You know, you're going to be much less likely
Mhm.
to go randomly death doom scroll Reddit. Um, okay, so we're going to be working on those four heroes. We've got two jug replays today. We're going to be talking about some fundamentals. My goal for you today is to send you off with just like two or three things to focus on fundamentally. Good questions to ask
Mhm.
yourself that I don't feel like you're asking yourself. Um, that will help guide you to make more and more consistent decisions over time. Did you have any objections or questions about what I just said?
None. None.
Sweet. Okay. Let's check it out here. Um, I totally derailed the conversation from earlier, but I
Mhm.
personally benefit a shit ton from just doing 1 to 3 minutes of CS trainer on whatever hero I plan to play first. Like, maybe it changes in the game, but like if I want to play Jug and I just go into either the tier 3 welcome tab last hitting, or I can even just
Oh, okay.
demo Jug and do it in like the demo lobby. I can't do it when I'm
Mhm.
in a replay, but I personally think that goes a long fucking way to not randomly missing CS for the first two waves. If I don't
Okay.
do that, I randomly miss CS for the first two waves. So my recommendation is to either choose the hero that you know you're going to pick first, or
Mhm.
choose the hero out of those four that you feel your CSing is the worst on,
Okay.
and do that. Like pick that hero. That's like generally how I approach it. I'm like, I know I'm gonna play this hero today, and I haven't played in like 6 months, so I'm gonna do that. That's like how I think about it. Or I'm like, out of all the heroes I'm playing currently, I feel like my CS is the least consistent on this hero, and then I
Mhm.
CS trainer that one. And for me, it's been like the effort to reward ratio is very high of how much better my CSing is for spending 1 to 3 minutes of my time at the beginning of every day of Dota. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, questions about that?
None. None. None.
Let me just type these things in my. So this is gonna help me. Four heroes: Jug, Ursa, Medusa,
And Luna.
Luna, and then 1 to 3 minutes CS trainer daily. Or we decided 1 to 2 games per day. I'm gonna put that down. 1 to 2 games per day, so you don't have to go back and watch all this. 1 minute CS trainer, 1 to 3 minutes CS trainer daily. Either hero you intend to play, or hero out of four you CS worst on. Okay, that's our notes so far.
Mhm.
I'll send that through.
Okay.
Cool. So let's go ahead and check out some fundamentals that we can get you from the 1 or 2 games you sent me here. Um, So my gut initially is that you're against Viper offlane, a hero that doesn't really use spells very much. So I think the
Mhm.
wand is a bit misguided. My question is, what sort of thought process goes into your starting items at the beginning of the game?
Okay. So for the what do you call this? For the wand, I was pretty sure that Venomancer was gonna spam his third.
Hmm.
Um, so that's why I used that. I was sure that these two were gonna harass me off my lane, which happened. So I have a friend with me in this match, but he's not on the same lane with me. This hard support was a random.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then my problem was I was getting pressured by him to fight when I know that I would die. So there you go. I think I died a couple of times here until I lost the lane and was forced out of it.
So you got pressured by your Grimstroke to run at them?
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay. Um, I understand. Uh,
Like I understand it was a good combo, the two of us, but that's Venomancer and Viper, so I would take lots of magic damage and I would die for sure if I went.
do you? This is going to be kind of a leading question, but I'm
Mhm,
actually curious what you think. I'm not gonna. I have an answer, but I'm curious what you think. What is
mhm.
like the number one reason that people don't really climb MMR? Like that? Why is there people that spend 5,000 games in their Herald? Other than like not giving a rat's ass, like people who actually kind of care about getting better, but they don't. Like, what would be for you like the number one reason?
Well, definitely not thinking,
Hmm.
I think.
So like maybe not critically
Like,
thinking about their actions.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like
Okay.
I'd like to think Dota is about, thinking in advance,
Hmm. A
not
lot of
just like
foresight.
hitting
Yeah.
creeps. Yeah,
Okay. Well, my answer to that question is making mistakes that are not your own.
I see.
Meaning you knew that was not what you wanted to do and you did it anyway. I think that is
Mhm,
the number one reason that people get stuck. That's my personal experience coaching people. So the first thing I've had to teach almost every single person I coach is that if somebody tells you to do something and you don't agree with it, to not do it.
mhm.
And that is a really hard thing to do. Let's
Yeah.
just be very clear. That is like I say it like it's easy, but it's not. It's simple, but it ain't
Mhm,
easy. Okay. So the reason I say this is because we can go so many games where our decisions are being made by our 2.5K teammates. And guess
mhm.
what? We stay at 2.5K because our decisions are being made by our teammates, right? It's
Mhm.
not that we want to say fuck our teammates, but
Yeah.
when our teammates make a call, I think the most important question, I'm going to put this in the notes. Teammate makes a call. Most important question. Like I try to when I have questions that I'm trying to write to myself, like I try to put them somewhere that I can see them before I load into my Dota games. Okay. Most important question: does this match my vision for the game?
Mhm.
And that can apply. Does that match my vision for the lane? Does that match my vision for how we end the game? Does that match my vision for like I'm in fight mode, so they're calling a gank? Great. I'm in. I think I'm strong. They want to take an objective. Great. It's like I have no Omni Slash and my team's screaming to fight. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean by it. Doesn't mean that you had to have thought of it, and it doesn't mean that you like think it's right or wrong. It means let's check this against my vision. Just like, and a lot of this is kind of a feel. You know, I feel like I'm
Mhm.
in fight mode. I feel like we could do something. I feel like I want to just farm. I feel like I want to play this passively. I feel like I want to be aggressive. And does their call match that?
Yeah.
And if it does, we do it. If it doesn't, then there's an entire um road of mentality and communication and mindset that we have to go down that I think
Mhm.
is really important. But we can't even go down this road until the people I'm coaching at least know that's what they're striving to do is not listen to their teammates when they don't agree.
Mhm.
So it's okay that you're sometimes still going to do it. Um, that's fine. But if over the course of the next month you ask yourself this question, and even by the end of the month, 15% of the time that you would have followed your teammate, you don't.
Mhm.
Like if that happens, I guarantee you, like that's at least 100 MMR. It's like it's something. Yeah, I can't say exactly how much it is. It's hard to quantify, but I think you get the
Yeah.
idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Okay,
It does.
Cool. So fundamentally, I think there's always good to have one or two questions we're trying to ask ourselves. I believe that question applies to the entire game. So I'm not going to give you any more questions for like to
Mhm.
ask yourself during the game. I think you could spend an entire month and you'll still need to work on that question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like it's not like there's a I've done it or I haven't. It's just a journey to slowly but surely improve. Um,
But
Go ahead.
I have a question for that particular so in my rank, I don't know. Usually the team has this idea that after 15 minutes or 18 minutes of farming, a carry should start joining clashes already. And if you don't, they flame you and they trash talk you, or they even throw the game. So how should I handle that?
It's a great question. Part of what I'm doing with my community is I'm trying to do my best to set a better example for because I've been that teammate before that you just
Mhm.
described. I think there are definitely people like this. In my experience, after I've done a lot more reflecting, it's less than I thought it was. It feels
Mhm.
like it's a lot when it happens like once every 2 or 3 games, but all it takes is like one teammate out of eight to feel that way.
Mhm.
So I want to first say that it is very hard to deal with this. It's very demoralizing. It's very frustrating. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of shitty feelings that crop up when this sort of thing happens.
Mhm.
Um, I guess my first question would be for you if somebody tells you to do something you don't like in real life and throws a temper tantrum, what would you do?
Oh well, I still wouldn't do it.
Okay, but like, what would you do in regards to that person? You know?
We'll just ignore it.
Okay, so there's your answer.
Okay.
Like it's not that it's like Captain Obvious. It's like
Mhm.
for some reason it's not you in particular, but for some reason everyone treats acting on the internet differently than real life when people also simultaneously complain that people are like mean to them on the internet.
Mhm.
It's like somehow that's allowed, but then it also people are upset that that happens, but they also say it's how the internet is. So it's like,
Mhm.
well, we can choose to be upset that it happens and say I'm not okay with that, and I'm not gonna like change the way I act because you're throwing a temper tantrum.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's enabling the behavior. Imagine if a million of us feel like you, which I understand there's a lot of us, like just a hypothetical number, a million people feel like you, and a million people are trying to cater to that type of dialogue. It just enables it. Like
Okay.
the guy's gonna go do it again because it worked, you know?
Mhm.
And I know that that sounds shitty because in the short term you'll lose some games and it's going to be frustrating. But I guarantee you on my life that you are losing more games listening to them than you are with them breaking their items.
Okay.
I
What
guarantee
do you
it.
think about Mhm.
Go ahead.
What are your thoughts about pre-muting your teammates at the start of the game?
My thought is that if you are struggling not to listen to people and you don't even have a good semblance of what your playstyle, your choices are, like you feel like there's too much noise, where if I were to ask you like what your vibe check on the game is and you feel like you couldn't even tell me what it is, if that
Mhm.
somehow resonates with you, then you should temporarily mute people so that you can even have an idea, like you can see through all the noise and actually be able to make your own decisions. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So does that resonate with
So
you? Do you feel like it would help you in
yeah,
the short term to mute people?
yeah. I actually enjoy the game much more when I pre-mute my teammates as well as
Mm.
my enemies during a game. I get to focus more and do what I think I should be doing instead.
Mm. Yeah, so I think it's really important personally that people first prioritize themselves, like take care of yourself. But muting yourself, in my opinion, if everybody were to do it, the Dota community would suck, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is I think it's a great short-term thing to help you focus on your own decisions, but then eventually we got to put you back out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of the same as okay, I got to be single for a while and focus on myself, go to the gym, grind, set it up, and then I'm going to go back into the dating scene. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't focus on trying to be a good boyfriend and get in better shape right now. I just need to get in better shape or whatever. I need to put my life back together. It's the same shit. I need to like clean up my decision making and like remove some of the noise, and I'll go put myself out into the communication of the Dota community later. That's exactly what I did after like 5 failed ping pongs of I'm gonna mute everybody or fine, I'll listen to people. You know, after like 5 failed ping pongs of that, I think it's as long as we know muting ourselves is for this purpose and it's to help ourselves and to allow ourselves to find our own decisions, then I do find that it will give you, in general, inner peace about, you know, maybe your teammates will do stuff, but instead of hearing them shout at you, you just see them breaking their items and it feels a lot less, uh,
Yeah.
a lot less bad, basically.
Mhm.
You can kind of be like, there he goes again, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's fine. I'll put this, temporarily, if you feel like you want to, I would recommend you do this until our next session. Like, just mute everybody.
Mhm.
But if you're like, I'm really ready to put myself back out there,
Mhm.
go ahead. It's not like a command. I would just personally recommend come back to me and we'll see what your decision making looks like after muting everybody, and maybe we'll then talk about maybe it's time to put yourself back out there. Um,
All right.
I'll just say recommended here. Um, cool, because it's so funny because like when I'm coaching you guys, if the reason you made your decision is not because you thought it was correct, the only thing I can tell you is I need to see what you think is correct
Mhm.
to teach you anything. Do you know what I mean? Like if you don't think
Yeah.
it's correct and you're doing it anyway, it's like, well, my job is to tell you you shouldn't be doing the things that you don't think are
Yeah.
correct. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's a that can be. I think it can be a lot more exciting for you in terms of what you're learning than that. So these are some
Mhm.
of the most frustrating situations. I think 99% of Dota players feel you on this wavelength here. We know
Mhm.
it's not pleasant. Um, yeah, yeah. The Venom War. Yeah, you're going again. Okay, so rough lane. We talked about that. We're gonna fast forward a bit. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly say this is your one fundamental for the month. One fundamental
Mhm.
for the month. Queue up the next item you're gonna buy. Okay, so you already do it, but just to make sure we're on the same page, meaning you do it, you already know how to queue things up. Like I see you doing that. But so say I have my starting items of like this, and I'm like, oh, I want a Wraith Band. I'm gonna do this into this. I'm like consciously deciding what order of the treads I want. And then I'm going to mark them for purchase by right clicking them. I can't show you that in here because it just buys them.
Mhm.
And once you clear this cache of stuff, that, like, in the next 5 seconds, assuming you're not literally fucking dying, you know, like if you're in the middle of a
Mhm.
fight or whatever, the first second you have breath of fresh air, you go this, you know? You do this. So the reason I'm saying this is when I go back through your game, stop decompressing. You've already loaded the fucking replay. I'm gonna restart that real quick.
Sure. But I
Uh,
usually queue like the next three items. For example, for Jug, the Treads, the Battle Fury, and then it depends if I want to complete Manta first or just
mhm,
get the Yasha and then a Blink and then complete the Manta.
for sure.
I usually, yeah,
The thing with somebody like yourself, which I'm almost certain of, is that you know you're supposed to do this and you do it sometimes.
yeah,
So for me, this isn't me trying to teach you something new. This is me telling you that if you're not doing this 100% of the time, what's the point in knowing it?
yeah.
That's how I view these
I
type
can
of
see your
things.
stream by the way.
Oh yeah, because I need to reshare with you. Let me share it. Thank you for reminding me. There you go. So the moment I'm trying to avoid is right. Where was it? It's right about here,
Hmm.
where you have 840 gold and there's no items down here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to avoid for you. Okay.
Okay.
Very simply fixed. So for me, it's like if I come back and I see you literally have queued up an item every single time you're going to buy it, like that's
Hmm.
all. I think that's probably worth 200 MMR if I had to guess. You know, I can't say for sure, but it's like you're playing the game with items. That's ideal.
Hmm.
You know. So like I would have liked to see probably in this lane boots first because you're against two slows. So right when you got 500 gold, you got those boots and they're probably out to you right now. So you have boots now. And that's like a
Yeah.
pretty big deal on a hero like Jug. First off, because you're against a lot of slows, but you're also um, you have a spell that's position based, and you're gonna probably use it. Um,
Yeah.
so like maybe even this situation goes better if you had boots. It's probably still a bad idea, but it could only
Yeah.
potentially go better. Um, I also think in lanes where you're not right clicking heroes, I see no reason to level crit before level 5 or 6 or 5 or 7. I mean, like you're just not
Hmm.
right clicking heroes. I think of
I was true. Yeah.
God.
I was planning on going to jungle. That's why I was preparing for maxing the crit
Yeah,
and stats after that.
I see. If you're gonna
I was
jungle
gonna be
early, I think
playing.
you should
Yeah.
always go max spin if you're jungling super early.
I see.
I think that's just strictly better for you to clear small camps. With that, and then you right click big camps. I
Yeah.
think that is just objectively faster farming. I think the time where a crit first max is better is when you're able to walk up to the wave and hit it. And also, if the opponent walks up
Mhm.
to you, you can hit them too. And then you then walk over here. So the reason that this is better is because spinning is strictly faster for farm. But if you're playing aggressively
Okay.
up here and you spin, that's when they kill you.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like that's like the offlaner
Yeah.
can just be like, "Hey, 4 position guy, he doesn't have spin. We have 15 seconds to
Mhm.
kill him." You know. Um,
Okay.
so we can't use spin in those cases because we it is our defensive tool that is allowing us to play like a maniac in lane. You
Yeah.
you see what I mean? So if
Yeah.
we are only farming, spinning is purely better for that.
Okay.
Purely better. So I consider maxing spin to be defensive. I consider in niche cases you can go phase boots and max spin with the intention to kill people in lane, but I don't think that's really jug right now. Like that's like
Mhm.
something you can do. I don't want to rule it out, but I don't think that
Yeah.
that's the way to play jug right now. It seems like you're on the
I see.
treads train too, so it seems like you agree. Does that kind of make sense for you of how I view the difference between spin and crit?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. It
cool.
does. It does.
So like in this game, because you were in such a heavy harass lane, I probably would have gone 3-2-0. Like I probably would have gone 1-2-0 back into 4-2-0, and then taken
Okay.
a point and crit at 8. That's probably what I would have done. Because
All right.
level 1 crit is like 9% damage, I think it is. And
Okay.
at that time in the game, it's like 6 damage, which is nice. But if we compare it to making sure you're able to sustain farm, uh,
Mhm.
it's different. I think it's just I like the trade off. Um,
So I
okay.
left lane here already
Completely
and decided
reasonable.
to go
Yeah.
jungle. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the moment where like I would love to see this big camp here and have 2 points in healing ward and spin it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would be sick. So it's just thoughts when I see these moments. Like, we'll just point out like random moments where max and crit feels kind of weird. So I'm not sure exactly why you walked top. Like my question is, why did you leave this area? Because
Well,
like the
because all my
immediate
team.
creep here is right here,
Mhm.
right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Um, because all my teams were going at bot, and I was pretty sure that I could farm with Ursa and just farm triangle in the medium and big camp on the left side of the map.
I see. The number one decision of where you go in the game is proximity in the early game. 100%. The
Mhm.
number one decision. You're never walking across the map unless you have to.
Okay.
Like I think that's just a really good rule of thumb as like a consistency thing. Like when I say
Mhm.
never, what I'm telling you is you should operate for now like it's never, but it is not never. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
very close to never, but it's better for you to operate under that assumption for now so that we can clean this up a little bit. Um,
Okay.
so, like in this case, anytime you're farming a camp, the way I look at it is if I've been booted out of lane and I'm defensive on the map, I am going to be able to TP to another lane or scoop up a wave underneath the tower that I'm next to. Otherwise, I'm just going to farm the camps that are right next to me, assuming that nobody like is hunting me or
Okay.
something. You know, assuming that
All right.
no enemy heroes is changing that. So, like in this case, I would very much just go here and then here, and I would see your scenario with what's happening in the game and what you're doing, and I would have taken a second point in healing word at 6 here, like
Okay.
given exactly what you're doing here, because you're not trying to fight people with Omni Slash, you're trying to farm, and you're running out of HP.
Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to show people is the way that skilling and itemization in theory should go is what do I need right now? What's the problem? And if you keep getting
Mhm.
better at asking yourself that question, you know, you'll be like, I don't need Omni Slash right now. I'm not killing people. I'm just farming and I have a third health. So I'd like my next healing word potentially. Like I'd probably hold the skill point, and then
Mhm.
if healing word comes up and I'm still low on HP, I would level it. Like that's probably like the perfect play here where I'd hold the skill point, and then if I go kill somebody, I'll level Omni. If I don't, I'll level healing word. That's like how I would decide here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I might be throwing too much at you with this, but that's
Mhm.
more of a like take a mental note of the way that I think about skills and items is like what do I need right now? And the more in tune with that I am, the better. And in my experience, the majority of Dota players just simply don't ask themselves that question. Like it's not like they don't know the answer, they just don't ask the question. So if I can get you guys asking yourself that question, you wouldn't press Omni Slash to level it right now because yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you hold the skill point and you go look around, but that's just an example of I know you don't ask the question because you just kind of autopilot skilled Omni Slash.
Yeah.
Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
Do
Did
you have questions or
sense.
thoughts about that? Is it too much?
No. No.
Is it good?
No. I was thinking like how Medusa players would opt not to skill their ult first because they just want to farm.
Oh yeah. That they would go like 4-4-1 before they level their ult.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
I've seen Jug players not take Omni Slash. Like I've seen it as late as like level 8 or 9. That's an exception because most
Mhm.
of the time you would like to be able to Omni Slash people. But it's also a pretty good skill for holding the skill point for because Jug really likes the potential of leveling Healing Ward, and he also can very easily level Omni Slash when he's about to use it. Like it's not like a targeted spell like a Arena or something where you have to level it and then land it in the right spot. It's like I
Yeah.
just level it and click it on this guy. So um, yeah, it's the same thing. We want to be optimal in this way of like our items and skills are matching what we're currently doing in the game. Um,
Okay.
yeah, this is really awkward now because you've put yourself on the side of the map where you only have 1 point in spin and you have 1 point in healing ward. Okay, so you TP back here. Okay, that's a reasonable TP. I think if you had just been farming bottom the whole time and then TP there to scoop that up, that would have been like that would all make logical sense to me.
Mhm.
Um, you also don't lane very well against Ursa. I'll just veto you on that
Yeah.
one. I would not
Okay.
intentionally lane against Ursa as Jug. I think that's a pretty bad counter for you because he's purely physical damage and he doesn't care about your
Mhm.
spells. Um, okay, so you end up with a decent timed Battle Fury regardless. Ursa lets you clear it. Very nice guy. He shouldn't really let you do that. It works out. Looks like you hesitated a little bit there going back and forth. Do you remember what this hesitation was?
Sorry. Which part?
Uh, maybe I misunderstood it. Oh yeah, yeah. That were you considering going to this fight, or was that a misclick? Like you
Yes. Yeah.
misclick, or
I was
considering going to
considering
the
on
fight?
joining.
I see.
I was
So the way
considering
I
on
look at
joining the fight.
this is a great habit is if you're considering joining fights, right click yourself to your destination and then look. Because what you did
Okay.
was you like right click down here, so your hero went like this, and then this, and then this. You
Okay. I
know what I'm
see.
saying?
Yeah.
So like you can do exactly. I think what you're doing with your camera is fantastic. Like you have Omni Slash. You're like maybe I go to this fight. Like these are all reasonable things to be doing. But it sucks to think you're actually moving your camera around and it's costing you 10 seconds of farm because you did the good old back and
See.
forth. And there's no way you're walking to that fight. You know
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like that's illegal. You're not allowed to walk from here to here for the fight. So we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like you might even do that. Like based on your reaction, you're like, I'm not fully convinced here. But yeah, I do believe that when I see this happening, that the number one thing I recommend, if you see the opportunity, would
Mhm.
have been to walk mid to clear this wave. You can even
I
consider
see.
TPing here, clearing this, clearing the one at 15, and then like walking this way, where if the fight still goes, you
Towards the
keep
team.
walking. If it doesn't, you just do this.
Okay.
You see what I
Yeah.
mean? Where you're not like missing any farm, but it creates more pressure on the map.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that's really nice is if your team is fighting in the side lanes and you're in this not so sure if you should go phase, but you kind of feel like you should, but you don't want to commit,
Hmm.
TPing or walking mid is usually really good in those scenarios.
Okay.
Um, I'll just say note his teammates fighting side lane, mid game. Consider walking slash TPing mid to hedge fighting slash farming. You're kind of like doing a little bit of in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I might go to this fight, but I'm gonna farm my way there rather than like, just TPing or walking or whatever. Okay, so
I got Blink queued up.
yeah, I saw that when I hadn't loaded my stream yet. Why Blink right now? Like, why not Yasha, which I would consider the more standard?
I wanted to start fighting with them already, and I know there was a shaman, so I'd like to be able to blink in and focus on Zeus or shaman or Veno, which deals damage towards my teammates. And walking wouldn't be able. I wouldn't be able to walk towards them because Veno has slow, Zeus has slow, shaman has his skills. So I thought buying a blink would be able to jump directly towards them and just spam my last kill.
Hmm. If I made the assertion to you that I think Jug's like a 4 or 5 slotted carry hero before he wants to fight, what would you think about that?
Mm, four.
Like, I'm not saying you can't fight before that, but I'd just
Yeah,
rather not
yeah,
before
yeah,
4 or 5 slots. Like, what do you think about that?
Mhm. I'm not, mhm. Or maybe it's just my rank. I'm really just used to the team calling the carry like at 20 minutes to fight with them and try to end it early without, anything else.
Okay, this lines up with what you told me at the very beginning of this session with the Grimstroke decision in lane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to go Manta after Battle Fury every game for the next
Okay.
month. Like this blink thing is like it's not that it's atrocious, but it is playing into the bad habit you have of trying to appeal to your team. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm,
like what I'm trying to say is that the way carry functions until maybe 25 minutes is that you are able to show up to fights according to how aggressive you're allowed to farm. Okay? So
mm,
like if you're not allowed to farm aggressive because you had a rough start or because you have bad matchups in the game or whatever, then the only fights you're really showing up to are ones like somewhat close to your towers. You know, like those are the ones you'll show up to. If you're like really strong in the game, you're free farming, nobody can kill you through spin, and you're like farming up here, and you can like circle through their jungle for your patterns, you could probably help your team. Roche, you could probably like look for kills with them when they're smoking into the enemy jungle. You can easily do Tormentor if you're controlling this area at all. Do you see how that like
okay.
how I think about carries participating in fights?
Yeah,
So
you don't have to directly join the clashes, but you should help secure the other places of the map.
yes. So
Yeah.
what you said I agree with. And what I'm trying to direct your attention to is all I care about is how aggressive you think you can farm, and I want you to maximize that, and I want to see that. So, like at 17
Okay.
minutes, this is an example. Where was it? It was like 16:30. Where this is a very nitpicky thing, but I would want you to
Hmm.
walk mid right now
Hmm.
to clear this wave. Because all of your team is bottom, and you can do that, then this, rather than this, than that. Do you
Yeah.
see what I mean? How that's
Yeah.
technically more aggressive because it puts lane pressure on mid faster?
Hmm.
Okay, so that's an example of I want you to farm more aggressively in this sense. And I know Quap went there, and so like worst case scenario, like I think he TP'd. If you're like walking like this and somebody TP's in front of you, then you lost 4 seconds and you walk back to these camps.
Hmm.
But what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is, from what I've seen from you so far, there's these random moments where you could have cleared a wave and you didn't. It's happened like 2 or 3 times. And it's not that I want to harp on that right now, because I think the most important thing we get drilled into you is that you play for your own farm and you show up to fights according to the farm, and that the order of operations is you learn how to farm properly and we can worry about fighting later.
Okay.
So what might happen in the first like month is that you overly farm. If you do that, you've succeeded.
Hmm.
Okay? I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
good, meaning like long term, but we've
Hmm.
addressed the problem if I see you farming too much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I would,
Yeah.
based on what I know about you in this 1 hour interaction, I think it'd be a huge point of growth if you did not show up to fights unless they were in your farming patterns or underneath a tower.
Hmm.
Like
Okay.
if they're like I can actually just put that kind of fundamental like fights to show up to before 25 minutes in your farming pattern or near a tower.
Hmm.
That's a good rule of thumb for you. Like I think that's a great way where your goal for the first 25 minutes is to hit 3 items.
Okay.
And along the way, there's definitely interactions with enemy heroes. Like we're not just playing PvE, but we don't
Hmm.
want to interact with enemy heroes in a way that prevents us from doing our job that we established for the first 25 minutes. Does
Okay.
that does that like make sense how we just reorder that priority a little bit?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes.
Any questions about that?
None. None. I think
Cool.
it's clear.
Nice. Very good. Okay. I'm just watching the mini map right now. Hey, what happened here? Did you TP to a fight and got an ultra kill?
So I was with comms with my friend, and
Oh
asked
shit.
him if
Okay.
he has all. Yeah.
Poggers. Okay. Um. Very pog. Okay. Okay. Here's a quick example, tangible example of how I want you to shift your mentality. So right here, your team is like posturing to go aggressively top. Do you see that?
Hmm.
Like two of
Yeah.
your teammates. This guy doesn't have RP for 35 seconds. You don't have
Hmm.
Omni Slash for 35 seconds. I want this camp farmed, mid wave cleared, and then loop your way back to top.
Okay.
That is how we prioritize farming while still being in the fucking game. You see what I mean? Like we're not we
Yeah.
see that our teammates want to be aggressive, so we're not like unaware, but we don't just walk with them.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
so like your farming pattern when we look at the map right now would be boom, 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 boom. You know,
Yeah.
and then it's
So
just
farming
like
while waiting for my skills.
yeah, you just have an extra
Yeah.
12 CS, and you're also back here like 5 seconds later than you would have been.
Hmm.
or maybe 15 seconds later because you literally are sitting here. But you get the idea. It's like you're still ready to fight, but you're not gimping your farm in order to do it. Okay. Okay. If the point was not driven home, I want you. Okay, so we've got like. There's a lot of things in Dota that I would almost consider them in our peripherals. Like, they're things that we don't need to be looking at directly, but we need to be aware that they need to be in our peripherals at all times. Do you kind of know what I mean by when I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mid lane getting pushed needs to be in your peripherals at all fucking times. I've seen you walk away from mid lane like 7 times and not push it.
Okay.
We want to dial that up in terms of like the priority of the wave meets right here when shit's happening in the game. Like, there's just people showing, there's like whatever this is, and there's just a wave here. Mm-hmm. You can't just clear the wave if everyone's missing. You know what I mean? Like, it's very different. But there's like shit happening in the game, and we just ignore the mid wave. So I'll just put shit happening in game, mid lane in peripherals, and I think you'll know what I mean by that. Peripherals. These are the type of fundamentals. Like, the bad habit, I would say, is the ignoring of the mid lane. Like, the fundamental is to bump it up on the priority, and as long as I see enough information where I'm not going to get like stun locked and die, at the very least I'm going to send Manta illusions at it. Like, at the very least, especially since all of your heroes except for Ursa can do that. Luna, Medusa, Jug. So at the very least, if I'm playing carry, I would walk here and summon some Mantas if I feel like it's dangerous. But like in this exact scenario, based on what I see, I would probably walk up and hit it.
Okay.
And same thing, you would clear the wave and then loop your way back here if you think a fight's going to happen. But what doesn't happen is this just sits here and the enemy walks down a lane. Do you see what I'm going for as your role in the game here? Like, this could have been cleared like 3 times over while all this shit's happening. And then you TP to the fight, but I want this. This needs to be pushed into their tier 2, and then we like walk over here and maybe we kill this guy.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, they're grouped up as 3 or 4, and rather than running into the 3 or 4 heroes, we're pressuring other lanes the way that like that's the carry's job in the game, is to set up the lanes. And then we kind of like, we can TP to where the enemy is, so we should walk away from them. If we don't have TP, then we can walk towards them if we feel like we need to, but that's also kind of speaking to the importance of not TPing unnecessarily, because in this exact case where they're all showing here, if we had just done this, and then like this, and then this, and then this, and then this, it feels like really good. Mm-hmm. Do you see how that like would look really nice? Farming, efficiency, kill the guy over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. There's like, you know, I'm sending you away for a month, so, you know, when you're looking at your notes here, I would focus on the first 4 things I sent as like, let's do this until I feel like I don't have to really think hard to do these things. The next like 5 things, I guess temporarily mute is fine. Like, that's just something you're gonna do. But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you have your 4 heroes, you have your 1 or 2 games per day, you're going to mute your teammates for the next month. That's recommended, up to you on how long you want to do that. You're going to 1 to 3 minutes CS trainer daily, and you're going to... so that's already kind of a lot. Like, it's like you're limiting yourself in a disciplined way, you're adding 1 to 3 minutes of something you've never done before, you're changing the way you're going to interact with the game by muting people. But then during the game itself, the only thing I want you to focus on until it's not overwhelming, and that might even be for the full month, okay, is does this match my vision when a teammate makes a call? But you might not, you might just ignore that one because everyone's muted. What am I fucking talking about? You can just ignore that one. If I see my teammates doing something, does it match my vision? Okay, that's probably the better way to word that question since you're muting people. And then the one fundamental is to queue up all your items you buy. So if during your games, everything your teammate's doing, you're like, does that match my farming pattern? Okay. I'm rambling. We are going to combine this. Does this match the vision for my game? And we're gonna combine it with the fights are they in my farming pattern or near a tower? If not, I don't go.
Mhm. Yeah.
Does that sound good? That's what we're gonna replace that with.
Okay.
So like that's equivalently like we're giving you a vision for the first 25 minutes of the game. And so rather than asking, does this match my vision? We're giving you a specific vision and saying the way we figure that out is that farming? Is that in my farming pattern or near a tower? If not, I don't go.
Mhm.
And what's going to happen is there's going to be a few fights that you probably should have gone to that don't fit that exact description because Dota's not that simple. But this is an incredibly good fundamental to get across
Mhm.
in what we're trying to do. Um, how does all? I know it's a lot to digest. How does all that sound?
I think it's doable, and it's something that I can do for the first month before we meet again.
Does it sound like good to you though? I know it sounds doable, but like, do you kind of see like how it could help you? I know it's hard to see now
Yeah,
for sure, but does it seem like
yeah,
it addresses the problems you felt in your games?
yeah. It does.
Hmm.
I think prioritizing the CS and the how I move in the map um, is a very important skill to learn. So yeah.
Okay, cool, man. I just it's like to some degree I'm giving you a prescription, and I want you to know. I want to know if like it doesn't sound like it's gonna help. I could do it, but like just trying to make sure you feel like I gave you an appropriate
Mhm.
prescription per se. Um, Yeah, it looks like the game ends up getting pretty smooth from here. Now you're like playing aggressively on the map. You've got like the blink would be in your inventory here anyways. Like I think your item inventory matches what mine would look like now. It's just like a very different order. So we
Mhm.
end up going high ground with no Aegis, which is a little bit over aggro for sure.
Yeah.
I think, almost every carry player would gain MMR if we just never went high ground without Aegis, even though there are times to do it.
Mhm.
Um, it's way more risky than like the risk to reward is pretty high. So you respawn, your teammates kill them, and it looks like it's pretty smooth sailing. Okay. Um. So we're about 5 minutes or so away from the hour. So what would you like to
Yeah.
do for the last 5 or 10 minutes? Would you like me to quickly check out the other game just to skim it, or did you have any other questions you'd like to get in there, theoretical ones or anything like that?
Um, you can check the other one
Okay.
quickly if you want, because that's
Sure.
a game that I farmed decently, but I wasn't able to carry the team.
Okay. So we'll fast forward real quick to like 25
Yeah,
minutes
sure.
because that's like the point where I'd consider somebody being like farmed and then losing despite that. So let's just see kind of what happened here. Let's see. You are the joke. Okay. You're really into this blink thing. Okay, I got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Um.
So, for example, for this one, um, I I feel like I needed a lot of items to be able to kill the enemies because for sure I need MKB, and then for axe I need, I don't know, to lessen his armor or something. I need also magic for Zeus. How would you itemize for this enemy lineup if you were the jug?
Okay. 2 points to answer
And
your question.
in what order will you be purchasing them?
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna circle back to your question with a quick derail. Okay. Do you know why people go Manta after Battle Fury? A lot of the time. Like, do you know
For
what
the
the
spell?
Manta's for?
For the spell?
Okay. Most of it, like 75% of it, is for you to put Manta on lanes you can't feel safe farming.
Mm,
The other 25% is for Dispel. So,
I see.
like, meaning some games it's very relevant to have the Dispel, but the reason people buy Manta is so that their side lanes don't look like this because they're against Axe.
Okay.
Like they will farm here, they'll like move to here, summon Manta, and then walk towards their team with this. And like at the very least, somebody on their team has to like kill your illusions, and otherwise
Mm-hmm.
the lane gets pushed. So I don't
I
see
see.
you use your Manta enough to do that. That's like one major reason that you will get farmed and not carry games is because the lanes don't get pushed properly. That's like the first thing I wanted to mention. Okay.
Okay.
The second thing is you are in a pretty tough jug game. So it's logical that you would struggle to figure out what the items are. Okay. I historically have struggled with that a lot because I used to kind of think that the solution to my problem was always items. Okay. And there are
Mm-hmm.
correct quote unquote items to go here. But I think the most important thing that we have to get on the same page of is you could have 6 items and you'll die in 3 seconds if you show
Yeah.
yourself. Like, no matter what those 6 items are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could go like fucking 3 hearts and a Shivas and shit and be useless and maybe survive that. But like, you know what I mean? Like any reasonable jug items, you'll die in 3 seconds. You'll get Blade Mail called, you'll get blinked on by PA, you'll get Zeus ulted, and you're fucking dead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna happen. So what that tells me is that you can literally never be the point of contact. Like, you cannot be the one that goes in first or gets jumped on. So, first off, the most important thing is we establish I am not the point of contact. Okay? So then we have to consider who is the point of contact. Is it somebody that stands in front and tanks? Is it somebody who provides vision? Is it somebody who initiates? So in this case, I'm just going to answer the question for you. Treant can provide vision because he has like the shard and invis and shit. And
Mm-hmm.
Slardar can provide the usually the first point of contact because the enemy isn't usually stupid enough to group up as 4 and just get echo slammed without something happening. Like usually they'll like Slardar goes in first, 3 of them blink on the Slardar, and then they or Shaker echo slams them. You know what I mean? Like that's usually even in maybe in your bracket people run in S4, but I'd give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to do that. So what I've tried to do for you is first establish what I think to be a very clear vision of how fights play out.
Mm-hmm.
So then, does that match approximately what you think? How much of this have you thought before? Did you have like a similar impression in this game? What are your thoughts?
Um, I agree with that, and I think that's one of the problems that I need to address as well, is being impatient. Especially in my bracket where usually the offlane, most of the time, they don't initiate; they just stay backline, um, and wait to get the perfect ult,
Yeah.
perfect stun or whatever, perfect call. So yeah, I think I agree with you.
Okay. I've got an OP hack for you. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Something you can establish after the game, before the game, even. You can do it during the game. A fantastic thought experiment for you is what is my condition for entering the fight?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you right now in this game. If I asked you that question and you have all the time to think in the world, what would your answer be?
Well, I need Axe to show up first
Okay,
because he's the one that will kill me for sure.
fantastic.
Um, and I need Slardar to enter
Okay,
before I enter. I need to kill also the soft ones like Zeus, um, and PA if it's there.
and you have
But
like
yeah,
MKB and stuff, and she's stunned. Yeah.
yeah. But the last priority that I should be killing is Axe.
Mm. Okay. So there's no like perfect answer to that question. Meaning like there's like maybe your worst target's Axe, but what if he gets blink crushed, amped,
Mhm,
and stunned by fissure? It's like okay, maybe I should blink on that guy and kill him. You know what I mean? But like,
mhm,
I'm not saying that that's what you should do. But the point is there is variance to this. But I think a good you made some really good points there. I think first and foremost you need to see Axe. Like he
mhm,
needs to go in first, or you need to know he used his blink or some shit, or you need to know he's locked down. Whatever you need to know he can't blink. Blade Mail call you, and then you need
mhm,
most likely Sardar or Earthshaker to stun somebody in range of you. Like that's what you need to have, and then you also to some degree have like targets that you want to go on. But I think this idea that Axe needs to show is the most important one.
mhm.
And the second one is more of a advanced but great if you know it kind of thing. But the first one, absolutely. What that means, I put it in your notes, is what is my condition for entering the fight? I'll just put in this message so I don't die. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the worst thing we can do is just cast 0 fucking spells and die. So what I'm trying to say is if you can focus on what do I think my condition for entering the fight is, and then if you know you can't go first, your entire communication to your team, rather than getting impatient, like the moment you feel that impatience triggering,
Mhm.
you just say, I can't go first.
Okay.
And even though you have them muted, you're just like, I can't go first. And the goal is for you to identify the one thing you need to see. There's going to be like multiple, but like the most important one, you know? And just don't go until you see it. If that
Mhm.
means you're sitting behind your team for 70 fucking seconds, then sit behind them for 70 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing if you can do that. Like, if you find yourself waiting outside of a fight for 35 seconds because Axe literally never shows, you've graduated this course. Okay?
Mhm.
Like, it's hard. Like, it is hard to be that patient, and I know that it's an uphill battle for everyone involved. But if we can recognize the condition for showing ourselves, remain aware of it, like the days where I'm not playing well, I forget this shit. Like, I lose the discipline, I lose the presence of mind, and I just walk in and get called. Or like I see the PA get stunned and I'm like, get him! And then I
Mhm.
get called. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's my other thing is, you can do a little thought experiment with your condition for entering the fight and look at your patience here. So if we amp up the wave clearing by 5 to 10% or more,
Mhm.
and we add patience to fights, you will win these type of games that you would have normally lost. Not that you'll
Mhm.
win all of them, but maybe you'll win,
Yeah.
20 to 30% of them or something. Um, so like, I'm just gonna watch like one fight for you, just out of curiosity. Yeah, so you blinked in. So, yeah, I would just like I'm never doing this.
Yeah.
Like, even if it fucking works, I will not do that. You can give like we
Yeah.
can literally end it right there, right? It's like
Mhm.
unless I see Axe showing bottom lane. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never doing that. So that's an example of, yeah, it definitely displays impatience. It doesn't even look that bad. Like, you killed 2 heroes, lost one. But
Mhm.
I think if you were to play that out 1,000 times and do that, the risk is way higher
Yeah.
than the reward to blink blind uphill first with Axe missing. Um,
Mhm.
if we never do that again, that's at least 1,000 MMR. Like,
Yeah.
so if you do it
I think it's
10% less,
the
that's 100 MMR. Go ahead.
yeah. I think it's the offlane player in me because
Mm,
I think prior to deciding to play POS 1, I've played POS 3 for the longest time.
yeah,
So, yeah, the urge to jump in, cast all the spells, and die
I believe it.
is still
It's a
with
strong one. It's a
me.
strong one. It's a strong one for sure, man. Sadly, we don't have that luxury as a carry player. We must value our lives. But honestly, the rule I'm making is equally applicable to offlane. There are games where you need to be patient too. It's just less often.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like maybe 60% of games the offlaner is the initiator. So in those 60%, you're not supposed to be patient. But I remember learning this lesson in one of my Axe games. This was like 2 months ago, where I specifically remember this game where I'm like, I am an Axe and I need to go third. And I only
Mhm.
realized it after like the third fight of initiating.
Mhm.
And I was like, I need to stop going. My job is to blink BKB call the SF when he goes in. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I need him to go in first. So I need somebody else to go first, then SF to go on him, and then me to go on SF. And then once I recognized that, we actually just won the game. It was like
Mhm.
it was really cool, actually. I remember this. That's why I remember this random fucking game from like 2 months ago, because like I was like, wait a minute, I'm Axe and I'm not supposed to go first. That's strange,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a very powerful thing on any role to think about the like one, two, three. It can go pretty deep in terms of the conditions that need to be met for the fight to go perfectly.
Yeah.
But for
Mhm.
anyone that's new to this, just thinking about the one. And usually the one is kind of surface level, and I think any experienced Dota player, if asking themselves that question, could answer
Mhm.
it in most games.
Yeah.
I think like you answered it immediately. Um, so it's like I just remind you guys, you have this knowledge, you can do it. We just gotta really commit to making our own mistakes, which is not being
Mhm.
impatient, not listening to other people's calls that we don't agree with, stuff like this. So,
Yeah.
cool, man. Any final questions?
No, no. I'll see you in a month.
Awesome, man. I'll see you around, whether that's in the channel or anything.
Yeah.
Thanks for signing up. See ya.
Yeah. Thanks, man.